Let's start from the popcorn ring story.
Yeah.
Let me tell a story.
Sorry, I got to tell a story if I need video starts still. You know things say.
Alright, go on, tell a story.
No, go on. Tell a story.
No, come now. Come, tell a story. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Wow. We just want to say thank you guys for all the love. We're just absolutely blown away by all the likes, the comments, all the persons who shared the video and who subscribed. We really appreciate you guys. So let's keep that momentum going. Keep showing your love, keep showing your support. We really do appreciate it. All right, so what are we getting into today?
Today we're doing a story time as to how we met.
How we met. How I sealed the deal, yeah.
The story of us. Let me just mention that this video is going to be a bit long. So just bear with us, we'll try to make it as interesting as possible.
And we'll try to condense it as much as possible.
Exactly. So without further ado, Paul and I have literally known each other our entire lives.
Yep.
His mom and my dad are very good friends, and we grew up in the same community, went to the same primary school. In fact, there's a funny story about a ring while we were in grade 1.
Yeah, but we'll keep that for later. So stick around if you want to hear that part.
Exactly. So, as mentioned, we went to the same primary school from grades 1 through 6. We were friends. In grade 6, there was an incident that occurred, and someone convinced him to stop speaking to me.
True.
People,
that is.
I wouldn't lie.
She keeps telling this story, and I have no clue what she's talking about.
Probably really going to come on YouTube and lie.
That's not true.
Okay,
fine. Tell your story.
Lie number 1.
Tell your story.
Yes, so he stopped talking to me in grade 6, and that went on. That went on for years. We went to separate high schools, but we would take the same taxis home sometimes, and it was to the point where we would sit next to each other
and not even utter a
not
word.
speak. It was crazy. It was that crazy. In high school, I migrated to the Turks and Caicos, so that too put added strain, I guess, on the relationship.
We weren't talking anyway, so you leaving didn't mean I didn't even know.
He didn't know.
I didn't even know because we weren't talking.
Yes. And so fast forward a few years, Facebook came around, and
funny enough, this is my part of the story now. So funny enough, Facebook came around, and I was in I was at UTech at the time, and home one evening, you're on your computer doing schoolwork, but you have Facebook open anyway, and I saw a notification come in. Relax, you know what you and friend requests. I'm like, who is Monique? What was your hand? What was your name at the time?
My handle was Monique Deidre Davis. Or Deidre Monique Davis.
Deidre Monique Davis. I was like, what? Monique? Interesting. So I'm like, alright, I'm gonna make you suffer a little bit. So now I'm gonna accept the friend request same time. So
why would you lie to the good people of your
relax yourself, you know what true. Anyways, answer a friend request. The moment I answer the friend request, messages just started rolling in. Hi, how are you doing? It has been so long.
People, I don't know what version of the story Paul is telling. Paul, that is not true.
Alright, fine.
Let me tell you the truth as to what happened. Facebook came around. One day I was on my phone and I got a notification. It was a friend request. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I accepted his friend request almost immediately. When I saw it, I mean, the petty in me grew like, a little inch, and I was like, why is he friend requesting me? Like, but then I was like, you know what? That was so primary school, and I accepted his request. I cannot say, I don't remember clearly if it was immediately after I accepted the friend request that he sent me a message, but he messaged me and I responded to the message, and we started talking from there, like here and there we would say hi to each other. It wasn't anything flirtatious, it was just innocent, like rebuilding a friendship, because at the time he had a situation going on and I had a situation going on.
We hadn't spoken for years.
Until that. So every now and again we would say hi to each other, and eventually we exchanged phone numbers. And
say once you get the phone number, now you're in the zone.
No,
you can text on you can text on Facebook all you want. But once you get the contacts, you're in the zone. Progress I make.
Anyways, people, there came another time when we didn't speak for years, because like I said, I had my own little entanglement and so did he. So we didn't speak for years. And then fast forward to 2015, about October. By that time I was single for a few months, maybe a year, somewhere there. And I remember laying on my bed one night and I got this message on WhatsApp. The number wasn't saved because back then I used to switch phones a lot. And so when I got the message and I read it, I realized it was him. And somewhere along the conversation he asked,
are you single?
No,
I
said you're not married
you're not
yet.
married yet. Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm actually single. People,
that
when I said that I was single,
leg of your boy,
I felt the whole conversation shift. And so, it went into the direction where we spoke about our past and very deep conversation on what we wanted from our future.
And then I was like, you're what? All right, so I'm waiting to hear that she's single. Hearing that she's single is the best news that I could get at that point, because I was single as well. So I'm like, all right, here's what. So we talked, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to lay it all out on the table. I made her aware of how I felt. I made her aware of what my intentions are towards her and what I would aspire, or how I would aspire to treat her if she should say yes to a relationship with me. I laid it all out on the table, a long epistle, I tell you. And what did you do? And what did you do?
Alright, people. So here's the thing.
Tell the people.
At that time, there were certain things that I was praying for, and I must admit, he outlined every single thing
checked off.
I was praying for in that message. So imagine you're praying for something and now you're face to face with me and don't know what to do. So I responded and I said to him, like, yo, I am honored and flattered at the same time that you would want to treat me this way, but I think that we should remain friends. I don't see myself I don't see myself in a long distance relationship.
Why? Because I'm a touchy-feely person.
It might sound crazy, but I know myself and my love language is touch. So I didn't think that we could maintain a healthy long distance relationship. I'd done it before and it wasn't healthy, so I didn't want to do it again. And I didn't want to ruin our friendship. Really, I did not. So after that night, we didn't speak again until when I sent him the text message, he took like 5 minutes to respond.
Because I was there reading that message and I'm like, yo, how should I respond to this? But then I'm like, you know what? I calmed down and I was like, all right, fine. I understand and I appreciate you being honest with me. I think that's exactly what I said. Yeah, I understand and I appreciate your honesty. However, just let me know when you're in Jamaica. Once you're in Jamaica, just let me know, because I just want her to get here. Yeah, and then we'll go from there.
So fast forward 2 months later, I'm in Jamaica. Of course, I was home for like 2 days and I did not say anything to him. I didn't text him or anything. One day,
it was Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. So Christmas Eve, I was home cleaning regular Jamaican Christmas
and
cleaning.
You know, the funny thing is that normally I don't go home for like holidays. Even when I was in university, certain holidays I'd stay in Kingston. When I was in Mobe, certain holidays I'd stay in Mobe. But for some reason I was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna go home for Christmas, because Miguel, that's my brother, and we made plans to link up because Miguel was working in Kingston at the time and I was in Mobe. So we decided that all right, we're going to go home and link up at home. So watch God work.
So yes, I was home cleaning and I heard my father outside speaking with someone, and it was his cousin. And then Daddy mentioned to him, like, you know, Monique is here. Monique is what my family calls me. And he said, really? And shouted me. And I went out and we spoke for a while. And then he said to me, you're not married yet? And I laughed and I said to him, nobody don't want me. And he said to me, who wants you? You don't want them. Mind you, this is his cousin. We just had all of this exchange a few months ago. And I'm like, what has Paul been saying to this man about me? So I said to him, what has Paul been telling you? And he laughed and said to me, see, what he said, something along the line, see, I told you.
Yeah, but even so, Arlan, that's my cousin. I haven't, at that time, I hadn't seen or spoken to Arlan in years. So I had nothing to do with that.
He did say that, like he didn't speak to Paul in years.
Watch God work.
And yeah, no, I think after I said I wasn't married yet, he said to me, but you and Paul, them not the same age. And that's when I said to him, what has Paul been saying to you? Anyways, that day went by, and people, if you're hearing some noise in our background, our neighbors are moving. Sorry about that. So yeah, that day went by, and I just had this urge, text Paul, call Paul, and I fought it. Now, fast forward to about 7:55 p.m. in the night, Christmas Eve. Grand Market at Jamaica, you know, everybody has plans. Everybody and them grandmother gone somewhere. So I thought that this young man had to have had some plans. So I sent him a message and I said, you know what? Hey, I'm actually by my dad. I'm just letting you know.
Wow.
And he sent me a message back and said, yo, that's cool. I'm actually home, but I'm out now. Yeah, we can link up some other time or whatever. And I said, okay, cool.
I said, hopefully I'll get to see you before you leave. Yeah. Because I was out doing
Tell the people where you were.
I was out. I was out. Anyway, yeah, because I've been come a country for a long time. So obviously I go link up with my friends. Anyway, I went home and I was like, yo, you know, I remember give her a link. So I went home, I showered, put on some clothes because I had plans to go out the night as well. So I put on my clothes, put on my slippers and throw my shoes in the back of the car and text her and say, hey, all right, I'm coming to see you. And she was like, all right, cool. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, we talk on Facebook occasionally, we text on WhatsApp every now and then. But in the back of my mind, I'm saying, yo, I haven't seen this girl in years. This is going to be very awkward.
And I felt the same.
Yeah, and she said she was feeling the same way. Well, she said that years after. So I'm like, all right, the most is going to happen. We're going to come, we're going to say hi and talk for probably 2 minutes. And then I'm going to say, yo, hopefully we get to link up again before you leave, and then that's going to be it. The most I thought that that would take was like 5 minutes. Lo and behold, I parked at her gate, texted her and told her that I'm there. She came out.
So I'm a very awkward person.
Very awkward.
And this is how I popped up in this young man's car. He sent me the message and I went out. And this is me. Hey, Mr. Powell.
Hey, Miss Davis.
And we were dying from laughter.
We just laughed, and the conversation just, after we laughed, like we were laughing
Ice
for a
was
while.
broken.
And we just started talking, and like we talked for hours, and like
it was as if we didn't miss a day. Like we were just talking,
catching up, and
all night. My dad eventually.
Her phone. Well, you're skipping out that her
my
phone was
ringing because I had plans with Chantal. Hi, Shan. Sorry.
And my phone was ringing off the hook. We were both in the car chatting. Our phone was ringing up to the point that we decided, all right, we're going to stop answering.
Yeah, and I stopped answering.
We stopped answering. Well, I wasn't answering mine any at all.
I was answering because I didn't want Chantal to feel like I just come and I stood her up. So I told her that, yo, I'm coming. And I was really planning on going, but time just got away from us,
And we were talking until it was like some minutes after 12 or 1 o'clock. Because, Grand Market, everybody have plans. So her father came home. He stopped by the car and he was like, hey, what going on, Paul? And we talked and he hailed and he said, all right, he's going in. And we continued talking. 2 o'clock, we're still there. 3 o'clock, we're still there. 4 o'clock.
5 o'clock in the morning.
After 5, we're there because my father normally, you have Christmas morning prayer meeting. And after 5, I saw my father's bus driving past going to prayer meeting, and we're still there in the car talking. Wow, what a night.
So, Christmas, family day, we didn't see each other that day. The next day, he called or texted one of them and said there was a concert by his church. And at that point, my dad had already mentioned it and we had already made plans to go. So I said to him, yeah, me and daddy going to pass through. Fast forward, we got to the church, passed his dad, and my dad said hi, they hail each other. My dad was walking in front of me. So me now, remember, awkward. I said, hi, good night. And then his dad was like, yo, come here, you're passing me like we're strangers, and gave me this big hug. And in my mind, I'm like, what has Paul been saying to his daddy?
Say anything to him. The funny thing is that, I went home early in the morning, so by the time daddy and him came home from prayer meeting, I was asleep. Woke up in the afternoon, so I see daddy, and daddy was like, pass your car around, so. And he was like, pass your car around, so we gotta talk to Deidre. Because they call her Deidre. So I was like, And he was like, And then that was the conversation. That was it.
Anyhow, people, from there, he kept inviting me to events. And of course, I'm home for Christmas, not doing anything. So we'd go. One night in particular, I was in Mandeville and I got a text message, hey, you want to go to a concert with me? I was like, yeah, sure.
One of my friends invited me to a concert, so I invited her, and then she invited my her cousin
Karen. And so I said, sure, why not? So I left Mandeville, I went home, got ready. By the time I got ready, he was at the gate, so I slipped my feet in my slippers and I didn't buckle them up. So on the way down, I was mentioning to Karen, yo, I need to buckle my shoes and I can't bend down because I had a problem with my back at the time.
Right, jeans too tight, girl, I show up curves, can't even bend in my jeans.
That is not true. That's not true. People, I had mild scoliosis at the time.
Jeans are tight, man.
I can't even remember if I wore jeans that night. Anyways, I couldn't bend. I had like terrible back pain. Anyhow, we got to the concert and came out, and he walked around, came, and buckled my shoes. And I was like...
Yeah, I came and I saw that your slippers were undone. And I think you were still sitting in the car with your feet were hanging out. And I bent down and I buckled your shoes.
No,
your
actually,
slippers.
I was standing up.
You were standing up?
I was standing at the door and you came around and buckled them.
Oh,
and at this time, me I look on Karen and Karen look on me like... And like, we're not making little faces and laughing. Anyways, we went to the concert.
We're making progress.
It was not an event that you sit, you know, it was a standing event and we were standing there. And as I mentioned, my back had a problem. And I was fidgeting and he noticed and asked what the problem was. And then I told him, this young man started using his body as a human shield.
Yeah.
To block people.
Yeah, because people were passing and bouncing on her left, right, and center, and I saw that it was affecting her. So I was like, I took her and I placed her in front of me to kind of shield people passing. Yeah, you see the things you do for love.
Yo, at
and
this
this
time,
girl even there yet.
mind blown. Come and say, yo, who does this? And not only did he put me in front of him and protect me, you know, like that, he started rubbing my back and ensuring that, you know, I wasn't in as much pain as I was in before. Anyhow, there was a point in the night when Jermaine Edwards came on and he started singing his song Hallelujah. And my worship can't be contained.
And those who were at our wedding,
that was our wedding song.
At our wedding
opening
song.
That song at our wedding. Yeah, and so I started worshiping, and at some point I became subconscious, like, yo, this is supposed to be a date. Like, what if he thinks that you are weird, you know? So at some point in my worship, I felt him reach for me. And he held my hand, and when I looked over at him, he was worshiping with me. People, at this point, may I say, okay, God, I'll see you, Jesus, I'll see you. And this is stuff that I pray for. I was praying for at the time. So it was refreshing, you know. Anyways, fast forward, we went to a few events. Then we had another event at my father's church. But and we had planned a beach trip for the following day. However, a friend borrowed the car that we were supposed to use to go on the beach trip, and funny enough, while coming back, something happened to the car. Car broke down. He had to leave it at a mechanic shop. So in the morning, Miguel, beach trip morning.
the morning for the beach trip, Miguel and we got up, and Miguel is like everybody who know me knows that Miguel is my brother. So we went to the garage to check on the car. When we got to the garage, engine literally mash up, nothing can do if we fix that. So we had to start calling around to see if we could get another engine. And Miguel had, at this point, we couldn't say, all right, let's just use my car and go to the beach, because Miguel had to get his car started up because he had work Monday morning. So we're at the garage now. All day. I called her and I told her that, yo, this is what's up.
And so I updated my cousin, and by that time she had plans. So for the first time since I saw him initially, I was left alone with my thoughts, you know. So I had time to really process what was happening. And people, for the whole day, I was storming. I cleaned. I packed my suitcase. I repacked my suitcase. And I just felt this emptiness. And I was like, what is happening here? Like, why do I feel so alone? Like, something is missing. And then I found myself, you know, I picked up my phone and I sent him a text. I said, yo, I think I miss you.
Relax it. I'm at the garage now. See a text come in from her. Hey, I'm not sure what's happening, but I think I miss you.
Yeah.
I was like, not tell no lie still. This almost floored me. I literally had to draw off your bucket and sit down on the bucket and read the message again. I was like, what? So I didn't even text her back.
He
I called
me
her and
back.
I was like, what you say? So her being her awkward self, no, she started laughing. She was like, I don't know what's happening, but I think I miss you. So I'm like, all right, really? All right, here. So we talk some more, and then I'm like, all right, so we finish up here, and then when we're done, I'll come and give you a link later.
And so he came by my house again, and this was the trend by now. If we weren't out, we were at my house chilling. And we talked some more, you know, and by this time, I think we only had a few days each left.
Yeah. Because I had to go back to Mobay.
And I was going back to Turks the Monday.
So
yeah,
I stopped by her because I was supposed to go back to Mobay the Sunday. So, and she was going back to Turks the Monday. So I stopped by her house and I was like, all right.
Sunday morning. Before he left.
Here's what's up. I laid it all on the table. I said, yo, this is how I feel. We've been having a lot of fun these past 2 weeks.
But what are we doing?
You're leaving tomorrow. We're not going to see each other for a while. So I'm determined that, yo, I am sealing this deal before you leave. You're not telling me, no, let's wait and see or whatever.
Because at this point, I was always saying, when he asked, I would always say, just go with the flow. Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm going to go back home. We're going to text and call, and then it's going to die out. The Sunday morning when he came, I was getting ready for church, and I asked him to do my zipper on my dress. And so he zipped me up. And
a boyfriend or husband request. Yeah.
My dad was already at church and no one else was there. Anyhow.
You see, me already I do boyfriend things.
Anyways, he spun me around after he did my dress and I was standing directly in front of him. And then I remember him saying to me, yo, what are we doing? Are we doing this or not? And I heard myself, people. I said, yes. I was like, what is this? Mind you, by this time, my little cousin Ian and Karen, they were always saying, you better deal with him. And Karen always said he was the last good man on earth and you better take him, because she would observe the way he would treat me when we were out, you know. And Ian used to always say, like, yo, I'm not going to lead you down the wrong path. You know, I know him. I've never seen him like this about anybody before. So give him a chance. But one thing that stood out to me the most was his little cousin. And I remember his little cousin saying, so yeah, the one that stood out to me the most was his little cousin at the time. I remember we had an exchange in front of his little cousin. And his little cousin was like, yo, you just fit. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, yo, everything just so smooth. Like, you don't want to just understand each other. And I was like, if he could see this, like, why am I fighting it, you know? Anyways, as I mentioned, I found myself saying yes. He left and I went to church. Good people of YouTube, I heard nothing in church that day because I was processing, like, did you really just say yes
to a relationship?
To a whole relationship.
That's all I wanted to hear. I drove to Mobay singing the whole way. Yeah. So, and then we had a long distance relationship, and it was, I bet it was nothing like you envisioned it would be, like the horror of, It really wasn't. But here what, people. Remember at the start of the video, we said that we had a story about a ring. Yeah. Let me tell a story. Sorry, I got to tell a story if I need video starts still. You know things say.
Alright, go on, tell a story.
No, go on. Tell a story.
No, come on. Okay, so the story as to the ring that we mentioned at the beginning, it has a lot to do with why I chose the name Fated Powells for the channel. We were 5.
So yeah, like we mentioned, we went to the same primary school. So one day, it's like, you know, those popcorns that they had back then with the ring in the bag. And one day I was at school eating my popcorn and I found a ring in the bag. And funny enough, I walked up to the prettiest girl in school. You mean, man, I'm taste. Walked up to the prettiest girl in school and gave her that ring. And I was like, yo, you're my wife. And she took the ring and marched home after school and, and told her daddy.
No, my dad saw me with the ring and I told him, Paul gave me this ring. And I wouldn't take it off. I said, Paul gave me this ring and said I am his wife. And so my dad told his mom. And it became a thing where they laughed about it. You know, it was
just a funny story because 5 years old, but you know about ring and wife.
But years went by and his mom, whenever she saw me, she would call me her daughter-in-law, you know, come me daughter-in-law, like, you know, joking around still. But it just goes to show that what's meant for you is always yours.
Literally manifested.
Yeah, and you cannot outrun your destiny. So fated Powells means destined to be Powells. Yeah. So it's fated as in destined to be. And that is why I chose the name Fated Powells for the channel, because I think it represents us and our story very well.
Yeah.
So that's the story of us.
Fated Powells.
You've gotten to know us a little more and see our personalities a bit more in this video, I think.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking around with us. And please like the video, share. We want to see those comments, and subscribe, please. Yeah.
And turn on your post notifications. That's the bell right down there. Ring it so that you know when we are posting, you know, videos, when we upload our videos. And thank you guys so much, like I mentioned, and stick around for the journey. It has just begun. We have a lot more interesting stories. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, no matter what's happening around you, no matter what's going on in the world right now, you have a purpose
and you are loved.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.